right, what is up, people? How's it going? Welcome back to Yakin with Yukon. Welcome back to the second full year of Yakin with Yukon. Thanks again to everybody who turned out for the show last week. Awesome show, highest numbers ever. Had a great time. All you guys who won, I haven't sent your stuff yet, so I'll get to that this week. But again, thanks so much to everybody who showed up for the 1 year anniversary of Yakin with Yukon last week. It was a great time. So appreciate all the support. This week we get things started with year two, and we start out with a bang with Eben the Collector from Spice Runners Lounge, and very much looking forward to this one. He's been awesome. We've had to like redo this a couple times, reschedule a couple times. So we finally got it on the books. We're finally good to go. So very excited to talk to Eben and get you guys to know him a little bit better as well. So here we go. Let's bring in a couple of people, say our highs real quick. We got Joe. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. We got Rex. What's up, man? We have Janine. Janine, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We got Joel. What's up, man? Good to have you. Star Wars 77 Flex. Good to have you here, man. Ultra Cardazilla. What's up? He's a regular. We got Colin. What's up, man? We've got Chris from The Man Collects. We got Spice Runners Lounge. We got Chris from Everything's Plastic. And I think that's it. So you guys are turning out in droves for old Eben. So that's awesome. All right, let's do it. Let's bring in Eben. We'll get to know him a little bit better. As usual, guys, put your comments in the chat if you have any as we are going on. Let's do it. Eben the
we're live.
Collector. We're live. How are you, sir?
I am good, man. Thanks for having me here tonight.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I said in the intro, thanks again for helping me reschedule and all that thing, man. So I really appreciate you being on the show.
No, thanks, man. Thanks. It's all about being flexible and adaptable, man.
That's it, man. I'm going to ask you a question before we get going. Have you ever seen this show before?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So you know what to expect. You know what to expect.
Oh, yeah. When you reached out to me, I was like, let me see what the show's about. And then I actually watched a few episodes. So it's good stuff, dude.
Nice. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Let me say hi to a couple more people. We'll get going. We got Rolando. What's up, buddy?
Rolando.
You see, everybody knows Rolando. Mr. Fantastic. What's up, man? Good to have you here.
What up?
We got Rosa Holm. Good to have you. Thanks for showing up here. Good to see you. You brought in a lot of people I never usually sing, so that's awesome. All right, and then we've got Janine. Janine says, "As the man collects, my cats and I watch your toy hunts at 4:30 every morning. I think they think you live here. That's awesome. Yeah,
that's
man
funny.
Collects is killing it. He's killing it. All right, Evan. So we're gonna not gonna grill you, but we're gonna get to know you a little bit better. We'll kind of start out with YouTube. So how long have you been doing YouTube, and what kind of got you into this mess?
So the first time around, I actually was doing YouTube under a different name. It was called Secret Nerd Batcave. So around 2015, I started that. I was like, oh, let me try this YouTube thing. I used to buy stuff all the time. I wanted to share with my friends, and of course, none of my friends were around me. So the only way I can share it to them was either taking pictures, or I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it on video and send it to them. So I was collecting like action figures, and I was collecting GI Joes. I was collecting like Star Wars vintage, the old Star Wars vintage. I was looking for those back then, and then I slowly started, graduating from that and buying Hot Toys. I was already buying Hot Toys, but nobody knew what they were at that time.
Yep.
People thought they were like, just Barbie dolls and shit. And I was like,
right.
Not a freaking Barbie doll. It's an expensive ass collectible.
Right.
So I started like doing unboxings of those, and then I took a break because I was in the military at the time. So around 2017, I took a break. I pretty much went offline for a few years. And around 2021, a good friend of mine that I used to share all this stuff with passed away. So when he passed away, I'm just like, I want to share this stuff with the world. I want to like, meet more people. And I just want to like socialize and talk, Star Wars. So 2021 is like, I just started, filming unboxings again. And then started going into the Facebook groups, and then started meeting a lot of folks. That's how I met Jeff Sage and then Scott Berry, and then J2SO. So pretty much everybody that's on Spice Runners, I met them through the Facebook groups. And that's how I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a Thursday night or a Friday night show. And then with the help of my buddy George, the Mandalorian slash Hyperdrive
Yep.
Star Wars YouTube channel, he kind of motivated me to just go do it. Just do it, because that's the only way you can start, is just by just doing it. So I started my Friday show after being on his Sunday show, because he had invited me to just come in on Sundays and talk Star Wars with him when his show was on Sundays. And then my show just like took off. I was just like, holy crap, people actually like us just sitting there drinking and just talking crap.
Mhm.
So that took off, and here I am, here on Yakin with Yukon, just talking about Star Wars, YouTube, collecting, whatever comes up.
Right, right. Yeah. Hey, that's a great story. That fits in so much. If you don't mind me asking, what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. So you've been doing Spice Runners for a while. What has been the best part of doing that? You guys do a lot of stuff. You do a lot of lives. Can you kind of talk about, everything that you're doing and kind of what the best part of, the process has been so far?
So the best part about Spice Runners is meeting people, right? So I made really good friends with everybody that you see every week. And what's been awesome is a really good friend of mine, Jason. We call him Dewback Deliveries. We finally got a chance to do this because our dream years ago, before all this stuff, was to have our own YouTube channel. And then he got married, had kids, and life kind of like slowed down a little bit for him, right? Because he couldn't do that. And now that his kids are older, he's on the channel with me. And then getting a chance to meet Scott Berry in person, meeting I haven't met Janine yet, because I keep missing on the schedules.
Right.
But yeah, meeting Scott, for the first time was cool. Meeting Jeff here, he came down to Orlando, we hung out. J2SO, we've hung out a few times. Let me see, I met Joel like very, very quickly at Celebration in Anaheim, but it was pretty cool seeing all these guys. And then when you see them, it feels like you know them forever, right?
Sure.
Because you hang out on the weekends on YouTube, you chat every day on social. And then there's some more people that I met. I've met, like, I see people in the chat right here. I see Robin. I met Robin. I met her husband Benjamin. I met Kenobi. Randomly at a line in Anaheim at a Star Wars celebration. It's just the community is great. For the most part, everybody's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And then you see them, and you're just like, hey, what's up? It's like you've been friends forever.
It's like that old friend that you've really never met, but it's like you gotta know, you've got that bond and that camaraderie.
Right, right, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So with Spice Runners, what do you think your ultimate goal is for the channel? Do you want to, just the sky's the limit, or are you pretty happy with how it's going now, or what do you think the ultimate goal is for the channel?
I'm pretty happy where we're at right now. We've we get a lot of people watching it live every Friday. Um, we changed things a little bit, right? Because before we used to just have a lot of people come on and like talk about what they're selling and stuff. We kind of slow that part down. We're focusing more on the collectors ourselves. What's going on in industry. Either if it's news or props. Things that are being sold or made out there,
Sure.
and then bringing in like those collectors that actually build stuff, that they know, the intricacies of, like a helmet or a costume. That's the kind of stuff we want to focus on, because it's a collector show, right? So it's, I don't want to like make it into like a sales pitch, every Friday where, hey, go buy this from so and so, because that gets old, right? People are going to stop watching it because they want to go there like to hear about what's out there. That's why we started that segment about the weekly pickups. It was actually Scott Berry's idea because we're just like shit's expensive to be and to buy stuff every day and talk about it. It's like, okay, I don't have nothing this weekend, so
Right.
let's see what the community is buying, because they're always buying stuff.
Absolutely.
So we were like, yeah, let's just do that, and that's worked out great. The community's always sharing their pickups. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It can be like a Black Series toy, it could be a hot toy, it could be a statue, it could be a prop replica, it could be something like very expensive.
Right. Right.
See what
Which
Rex put it out there.
I mean, I had to hit that comment. Now, come on, that's not true, is it? Rex, you're such a smartass.
Well, yeah, we were a fan base dedicated to the Vulcans and
Oh yeah,
Spock.
okay. Right. Nice. Rex is a good guy. If you guys haven't
Yeah,
checked out
he's
Rex, go
good.
check out Rex. Rex, he does collecting. Cool. What's up, Brett? Good to see you, man.
What's up, Brad? How you doing, man?
And his ears were burning. You mentioned him, so there he
The
is.
General
There's the
Kenobi.
general. There's the
He's been
general.
killing it.
He has been killing it, but you know what? I've known the general for over a year now. He's always been killing it. There's never a
Oh
time
yeah,
when he's not killing it. He does a great job with everything he does. So,
yeah. Every time I go on YouTube, I see he's on live. You know, either in English or
oh yeah,
Spanish
no,
or something.
that's the thing. He's got English and Spanish, so he's just
He's
kicking it,
killing it.
killing it in two languages.
Yep.
Mr. Fantastic says, "Thank you for your service." Absolutely,
Well,
man.
thank you. Appreciate it.
And then we've got talk about a guy that's killing it. This guy right here. There's John from Collecting Havoc. Man, he has had a hell of a week. He's done a great job. You guys
Nice.
go check him out. And then Joe Covey, the best part of Eben was meeting me in person.
That's funny. He did like the way I smelled. You know, he talked about it for about a
I
year.
I was on that live when you guys were talking about that. I was hoping you guys were joking, but I wasn't totally sure because
No,
it was getting a
he's
little
joking.
weird, man. Two
That's my
back
buddy
delivery.
Jason.
Long
Yep.
time listener, first time caller. Have a great show. Thank you. And then we've
His
got
ears were
Benjamin
burning.
Owen, branching out, working on a calendar. All right, cool. So you mentioned high end collectibles. Now you've got a lot of high end collectibles. What would you say your favorite piece is in your collection
My favorite piece, it like changes every week.
right now?
So let me see if my camera. You see that Luke Skywalker down there?
Yes.
That's XM Studios quarter scale. Hands down, one of my favorite pieces of my collection. You know,
Nice.
they didn't make that many of them, and just like when you see it in person, it just stands out, man.
Right.
Like the
Right.
realism in it, the pose. It's an amazing piece. Such an amazing piece.
Can you give us a rundown of all the different things that you collect? Because your collections is obviously a lot different than most people we have on the show. Most people are into Black Series, GI Joe, all that sort of thing. Can you give us a little rundown of everything that you do collect?
Sure, sure. So I collect almost everything that's Star Wars, but that's too broad.
Right.
No, so I collect. I guess I can go from little to big, right? So Hot
Sounds good.
Toys.
Sounds good.
Hot Toys, if people aren't familiar with Hot Toys, are 12-inch action figures that are very high end, very detailed. The ones that I collect are the movie masterpiece series, which they're as close as it can get to something you see on TV. And then from there, I collect statues as well. So I collect quarter scale statues, because there's different scale statues. There's
Mhm.
I think I got a couple fifth scales, the Mythos line from Sideshow. But I got quarter scales, the majority of my statues. I got a couple fifth scales. I got one or two seven scales. I got the six scale bust from Gentle Giant and the scale milestone from Gentle Giant. So that's like the statue range. I even got some statues that are models. There's a company called MYC Collectibles that does a lot of statues. And then I got like the Imperial Viper / Probe Droid, from NYC. That's a quarter scale. And I got the ATST. Got a couple other things coming from him too. Slave One. What else I got? I got a AT-AT, and then I forgot what else I got. I just I'll see when it comes in when I get the bill.
Right. Right. That's the
but I
fun
but
part.
but I collect a lot of lightsabers too. I got a ton of lightsabers. I think last count I was at, I think I had like 21 of them.
Wow. Nice.
I collect, prop replicas from Regal Robot as well. I don't know if you ever heard of Regal Robot.
I have not. No.
So Regal Robot, it's owned by Tom Spina. Tom Spina does a lot of like he started his business by working on props. Like he restored props, and then he did a lot of custom stuff for TV, and one of the things he did was like I can't reach for it, but he did a concept for the Mandalorian, the boxing Gamorreans.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
So he has like this whole line that he calls the Star Wars archives, where it's stuff that either he's been able to work on or he's been able to scan from the Lucasfilm archives. So I've been, I collect those items too. So anything that he's made from the archives, I've been buying them because they're pretty neat pieces. They're concept pieces that you really don't see out there. Not too many people make them. and Tom got the license to produce them. So I buy those things.
Nice.
I also buy. Let's see, I got life size stuff too. So I got. I don't know if I can move my camera a little bit to show it a little bit better. Oh, this way. Nope, the other way. It's all crooked, but I got back there. You can see like a Vader I got back
The
there,
Vader.
and a
Yep.
C3PO. So all those busts I got like life size busts all over the room. So behind me you see like the Darth Maul one. That's a full size bust, but the base is a little bit smaller. That's why it fits in the Besta. You
Nice.
got the Emperor right there. Then over here on this side, you probably see Boba Fett.
Yep. Greedo.
So, yep, I got a Greedo that I made. It's all custom from a really good prop maker out of Utah. He sells pretty good stuff. So I built my model off of his latex head and hands, and I just bought the pieces here and there with help from friends from the community.
Very cool, man. Awesome. Like I said, you probably got the most high end stuff at anybody we've ever had on the show. So that's really cool, man. Thanks for showing us that stuff. Take us back in time a little bit. When you were a kid, how was it? Were you into toys a lot? And if you
Oh yeah,
were, what were your go-to? Obviously Star Wars.
oh
But
yeah.
if you could pick one, what was like your main thing?
Wow, so that's a hard one. So I was born in the late '70s, and so when I was a kid, the first thing that I actually got introduced to were the 12-inch GI Joes
Yeah. Nice.
because they were cheap. They were at Big Lots, Pick and Save now Big Lots, and that's what my mom used to buy me. But then as I got a little bit older, she started buying me GI Joes, and then of course the Star Wars, the original vintage ones. So I used to have a bunch of Star Wars and GI Joes, and they always used to fight with each other, and the Star Wars ones always won. So Star
Hey, they
Wars
gotta win.
characters were my go-to. Yep,
There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
yep. I
Nice.
used to kick
Nice.
and scream in the stores when I used to see those things. I'm like, I want one of those Star Wars figures.
Nice. Awesome.
I was that kid.
Hey, there was a lot of those kids back in the 80s, so I get it. I totally get it. Let's get back to a couple of comments here. If it was a Star Trek podcast, it would be Red Shirt Lounge. Nice.
Dope, dude. That's a good one.
And let's see. Nobody says, "Oh, we always spend the monies." Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, always
Absolutely.
spending money.
Absolutely. And let's see. I don't think any other questions. Just everybody saying hi to each other. Oh, here we go. Evan has a huge Star Wars doll collection too, but he doesn't brag about it.
I do. They're hidden.
They're hitting.
They're all the dolls that Joe Hosey made for me.
Right. Oh, this is a good one. I was going to mention this as you were talking. Rex says starting small hot toys. That's a thing when that's your small, so not a lot of people can say that, man. That's awesome. So when was there ever any lulls between growing up and now where you didn't collect or you weren't really into, buying collectibles or doing anything like, did you have any of those periods in life where everything kind of stopped and you were more focused on something else?
Sort of. So I've always had something, right? I was always buying stuff. So as a kid, I always had something. I joined the military, and there was like, of course, a point in time I couldn't because either I was in basic training or I
Sure.
was in like some kind of school. But once I got permission to be an individual in the military, that's when I started going out and buying stuff again. So I was around like I joined when I was 18, but I think when I first started getting freedoms again, I was 19. And I started just going to like, secondhand shops and Goodwills and seeing what I can find. So I was going back for all like the GI Joes and action Star Wars vintage action figures that I can find. So I started building all that back up when I was in the military. So when I was towards the end of my technical training, I had like all these toys. I went to my first base in Korea, had all these toys, bought more toys when I was in Korea.
Nice.
Went to Germany, and then I was starting to look for like German editions of
Oh
things. I'm
yeah.
like, see if I can find some German editions of toys, and I do got a couple of those. And then eventually I made it back to the States, probably around 2000. And then in 2000, I took a little break because I was relocating from overseas, but then I started buying stuff again. And then around like 2001, we're deployed a lot because of the military stuff that was going around the world. 2002, 2003, I was hurt and injured, so I got back into it. So I started like researching stuff. I was like what's out there? What's going on in the collecting community? And it wasn't like today where you can just Google the stuff. And you had to look in like
Oh yeah,
magazines
yeah.
and like articles to see like what's going on and like pinup boards and stuff. So I started just hanging out at comic book shops and be like, "Ooh, that's cool. I want that. I want that." And then fast forward a little bit more around 2008, because between 2005 and 2008, I did take a break because we just had a kid in 2005. So the focus was more on my kid, but I was still buying toys, but it was for her, and that was the excuse, right?
There you go.
Go
You
to
got to use.
Target,
Yeah,
go to
exactly.
Target, and be like, "Ooh, that's a cool vehicle. I'm buying it." But
Right, right. I mean, you go in the toy section anyway. You might as well take a
yeah,
peek,
yeah, why
right?
not?
Come
Why
on, you
not?
got to do that. You got to do
And
that.
then around 2008, I want to say is I started becoming really close with Jason Hansen, Duback, and he's the one that introduced me to the sideshow.
Oh,
So he had like all these cool like Wally pieces and all these other pieces, and I was like, "Where'd you buy that?" He's like, "Oh, it's a company called Sideshow," and he had like the Iron Man legendary bust, and I was like, "I'm buying one of those," and that's
that's it.
how I lost everything. That was it. Like Sideshow started taking my money from then, from 2008 to now. It's like when it just
Yep.
started with Sideshow, and that's it, and it hasn't stopped since then. Like no breaks since then. Now, but I'm more focused now though, because before I was buying everything. I was like, "Ooh, Batman, I'm buying it. Ooh, Marvel, I'm buying it. Ooh, Star Wars, I'm buying it." And around 2019, me and Jason both made a pact in Chicago at Celebration. We're like, we're just gonna buy Star Wars stuff, and then from there, it's just been Star Wars everything.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, sideshow. Once you get there, Hot Toys too. Once you get there
Yeah,
and they suck you in, you're kind
it's
of
hard
in.
to get out.
It's hard to
Yep.
get out, right?
It's a
Well, you
black
you
hole.
see
Yeah.
the, yeah, it's a total black hole, and well, it's some of the pieces that you showed, like those full size busts. Those things are insane. I mean, I don't even. What did you, as you were going through and you got into sideshow and stuff? Was it that you just kind of researched some of the more high end stuff, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for this, I'm gonna go for that, and is there ever been a time when it's been a little overwhelming and you're like, maybe I need to pull back?
Oh, I always say that, but I never do it. So I just budget myself, and this is what I tell everybody: set a budget. Depends how much money you make. Set a budget. Don't go into debt buying the stuff. So when I was in the military, I wasn't making that much money, right? I think it's pretty well known that people in the military don't make that much money. So what I used to do is just is save money. I'm like, ooh, I like that piece. Like I got a Vader up there, Lord of Sith,
Oh,
way up there. That
yep,
guy up there.
yep.
So I got that guy when it first came out on Sideshow's website. I was still in the military, and I was like, I'm gonna buy that sucker, but I'm gonna save money for it because back then it was like 500 bucks, 515 maybe. And 10 years ago, that was a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And so I saved money and bought it. But there's a lot of things I wanted to get, but I was like, I'm not buying it because I can't afford it. And then now that I can afford stuff, I'm lucky that I have a good job that pays well. I'm like, okay, I'm only going to spend this much money a month on my collection. That's it, and that's my max.
Yep.
I'm not going crazy. Everything's cash. I don't want to like be in debt. And then when I got introduced to Sideshow, I just saw the prices and my jaw was always on the floor, like, God damn, that shit's so expensive.
Serious.
So I was like, I took advantage of the layaway plans because they did have layaway plans and I could afford those because you can pay throughout time. So that's what I did for a lot of my stuff early on. And then I got really picky and I'm like, that's cool, but that one's better. So, I'm not going to get that one and that one because for a while, like Marvel, for example, they were producing like an Iron Man hot toy like every other week,
Yeah,
so
it's
there was like
constant.
so many variants of the same thing. So I started pulling back and I'm like, nope. I'm like, I only want that one and that's what I'm getting. So I just, try to like focus and, have some self restraint and a budget. And that was like the way I bought everything that I have today.
Right, right. Well, there's always the issue of space too. You look like you got a pretty good
Space.
space there, But is it
Yeah.
ever, I know with me, I buy something and it's like, okay, it's starting, the walls are coming in. I got to sell some stuff. Do you go through that process a lot too, where it's like, I find something better, but I got to sell something to make room for it?
Sort of, yeah. So
Yeah.
like recently I just sold the Job of the Hut because I want that space there because I'm kind of getting away from 6 scale, figures. So I needed the space for the AT-AT model that I'm getting, AT-AT model that I'm getting. And I also got a Tantive model that I'm getting. So I need that space. So I'm like, Jabba can go.
Right.
But my house is like a like a big museum. My wife is cool. She lets me put stuff everywhere around the house. So like outside of this room, there's Star Wars stuff. There's Star Wars stuff over there. And then in the dining area is like, the leftover Batman stuff. And then the living room is all the Marvel stuff slash Star Wars stuff. And then in my office, I have more Star Wars stuff.
I think you did a little bit of a pseudo tour when you were on Kenobi's live a while back. And I remember my jaw dropping to the floor. I'm like, who's this guy? Where's he get all this stuff? I was floored. And it's always so Rex is kind of the same thing, Millennium Workshop. You guys have awesome wives because your wives let you guys put this stuff like in the living room and the dining room. That's not going to happen in my house. Kudos to that, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Rex has his workshop like in
He
his living
does
room, doesn't
in
he?
his living room. He does. He's 3D printing while he's eating dinner.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get to a
Yeah.
couple other people that joined the Duff Man. What's up, buddy?
What's up,
Good to
Duff
have you,
Man?
Duff Man. And it says a couple of top tier collectors right here. Stoked for this chat. Appreciate that. I don't know if
Oh,
I'm
what's up,
on.
Diamond Figs?
And then let's see someone copyright red shirt lounge. Nice. Oh, look at this. Tony
Star Wars
graces
stuff.
us with his presence. What's up, buddy? Look at these legends, these superstars in the chat. Talk about a guy, another guy who's killing it. Tony, you're doing awesome,
He's
buddy.
murdering it. Yep.
I'm still waiting for that invite to your show there, bud.
Uh-oh.
Tony, when you know, you know. Let's see who else we got here. I think we've welcomed everybody else. All right. So you said that you used to collect multiple lines. If I said you need to pick one more to go with Star Wars, what line do you think you would go back into?
So one more to go with Star Wars. I'll probably go back to Marvel.
Okay.
Yep. So because I love Marvel. I've always loved Marvel, even before the movies. They've always had the best characters. Like DC is cool, but I think all the new movies have ruined DC for me. Like everything that they've put out has been really garbage.
And it's getting worse. It's not
Yeah.
getting any better. Yeah, it's really a shame. They've
So yeah. Like my Batman stuff, I've actually sold a lot of that stuff. I used to have like every Batman hot toy that was ever made, and I was like, I'm getting rid of all this. Kept a couple statues, and just collecting like what's my really favorite Batman piece. That's it.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And then, but Marvel, like that's like crack. If I take another puff of that, I'm lost again.
Keep going and going. Right.
I'm
I
gonna
get
keep
it.
going. Yep, and that'll be my go-to if I can collect something else.
Right, right. All right, there's a couple questions here. Let me find these. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So the general asks, Eben, what was your favorite Batman you owned?
What was my favorite Batman, or what
Or
currently?
is currently? That'll work too.
I guess I can go back. So I used to have a what was it Batman the person or anybody in the Batman universe. So I'm just gonna
Anybody.
say it's general. So I used to have the Heath Ledger Joker hot toy, and that was one of the ones that I regret selling. I was like, why the hell did I sell that sucker? It's because I was
Okay.
on this trip that I was like, I'm just getting rid of all my hot toys. That was like during COVID, and that was one of my favorite pieces that I gave up. And I was like, damn it, why did I give that up? Another one that's Batman related is the animated series Batmobile. I had
Oh,
bought that when it first came out, and
yep.
then I eventually sold it. But that thing was a freaking work of art. It was beautiful. I love
Have you
that
ever
piece.
have you seen the Batwing? There's a pawn shop down the road from me that has the Batwing. It's like 350, but it's super nice. Have you ever? I've never seen that in
No,
person. Have you ever seen that? I haven't either.
no,
I haven't either. But I mean, the box looks cool, so I mean, it's got to be good.
I've never.
Evan saved up money by not buying for a sideshow for a week.
Yeah, for a while I was buying stuff from them like every week. It was crazy.
Right, Uh, Self-restraint's the hardest part. Yeah, I mean it. Well, wait a sec. Now, Mr. Fantastic saying he has self-restraint. You've seen his basement, right, Evan? You've
Oh
seen
yeah,
Mr.
it's
Yeah,
full of figures.
dude, you got no, you got no self-restraint, man. Evan's weekly budget equals my yearly budget. Well, then I'll consider an honor that my stuff has shelf priority.
Oh
Nice,
yeah.
nice,
Oh
nice.
yeah, Joe's stuff is everywhere. Like I'm like looking at it right now.
Nice, nice. And Mr. Synthetic says my wife won't let me expand beyond the basement. You know what? You're not going to have a choice here soon. I told him last week. I was like, you're going to need to buy another house because it's catching up, man. Thank you guys. No, I got you. I was booked for Alex Sofa. I got you for sure. You're on my sister talk, dude. It's all good,
Nice.
man. Just giving you crap, buddy. Just giving you crap.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
there's another one. Joseph Michaels, the Venturous Joe. What's up? He's actually going to be
Oh,
on the show on November 12th. So good to have him on. Very excited for that. Okay. So we've talked about your collectibles a little bit. I'm going to ask you one that I ask everybody. If you have a grail or two, what would it be?
oh man, I got a bunch of grails that I want to go after. But since I collect, high end stuff, one of my grails is a life size Bosk bust from Sideshow.
Nice.
Thing's hard to find, and if you do find it, it's like 5 or 6 grand, and I'm not paying that much money for it.
Nice.
But
I
that's
don't think I've
definitely
ever
my grail.
nice. I don't think I've even seen that. How old is that?
I think that one came out around 2008, 2009.
Okay.
And then once
That's
in a while they'll
pretty
pop
old.
up. Yeah, yeah. Once in a while they'll pop up on eBay, and it's just stupid the amount of money people are asking for it.
Right. Right.
And people will pay it though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When it's a rare item. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Give into your envy and your journey to collecting will be complete. Well, yeah. Do as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Nice.
Right.
Hey guys, back from a Vikings loss. At least the Twins are ahead. Ooh. All right.
Brian's in
Right.
Minnesota.
Minnesota guy. Nice.
Yeah, he's one of the
Evan.
spice runners.
Gotcha. Nice. Evan is the Star Trek guy. Don't let him fool you.
Hell yeah. Live long and prosper.
Nice. All
How's
right.
it go like this, Justin?
Something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is the
Um.
shocker.
That's the right. Exactly. Exactly. So going back to YouTube a little bit, what advice would you give somebody? Just kind of breaking into YouTube. Say they've been on the platform for a couple of months. They're super frustrated with views, with the way things are going. What advice would you give to somebody in the YouTube journey?
Don't give up. You'll probably get frustrated because some of your videos don't get the views you expected to do. Just keep pushing content out there. Just don't stop. Just do something every day. If you're brand new, do something every day. Even if you get like 20 views or 40 views, eventually you'll start growing your own community where your community will pick up the views. So
Right. Right.
don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Has there been a time when you've wanted to stop?
I stopped for a few years.
Yeah. I mean, since then.
Yeah.
Since then.
No, since I've been back on Spice Runners, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was like last year, was it last year, 2022 maybe? Yeah, there's too much drama,
Yep.
being
Yep.
in the community, and I was like, dude, this is too much for me. I got a full time job where I work 12 hours a day. I travel a lot for work. Last year I traveled about 200,000 miles,
Oof.
and
Wow.
and then and then I try to and I still keep up with the show, man. I try not to miss a show at all. So when I traveled, I was always home like Thursday nights or Friday mornings, so I can do my show on Friday night. And I was just getting pissed off because there's just so much drama, unnecessary drama. So we took a month off, like the whole group, and then we came back and we're like, that's it, And since last July, I have not taken a Friday off, maybe two. But I've had the show never took time off since. We've always had
Nice.
someone running the show on Fridays, even if one of us were off.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. What would you say? Actually, hold on one sec. I had some more people joining in as I was thinking there. So we've got Pat's fan for life 69. Hello,
Oh, Pets
everyone. So
fan.
good to see you. How them Pats doing? Not so good, unfortunately.
That's so good.
They need a new quarterback. Uh, oh man, that's crazy. Let's see, who else did we have? Let's see, we got Rolando, and we got Brand Barnes, and we've got Pat's fan for life. Okay, let's talk Star Wars a little bit. You and
Yeah.
I touched on, like, we haven't been, right. You and I touched on Ahsoka a little bit. Thought it was great. 1 to 10, what rating would you give it, and why?
Oh man, I love the Ahsoka. So I'm probably like 8.5 out of 10. Fantastic, fantastic. I love the story. I know a lot of people didn't like the story. I guess the older people didn't like the story. I love the story. I was a fan of Clone Wars. I was a fan of Rebels. So everything that they brought into live action, I was just like, wow, that's freaking awesome. They did this. Um, I like how they built up Sabine. A lot of people hated her. I was like,
Right, right.
Sabine is Sabine. That's who she is.
Can't change it. Right,
Nope, can't change it.
right.
Ahsoka's character arc was good to see her all grown up and transitioning to what she is right now. I love the introduction of Hu Yang because we saw him in an animated series, but I
Hmm.
love this version of Hu Yang. Fantastic. Probably my favorite character out of the series. And then like the space battles, the aliens, just going on the different planets. Thrawn, that's it, man. It's like should have been a 10 with Thrawn, but we only got him for 3 episodes.
Right.
Night
That was disappointing.
Sisters,
Yeah.
yeah. The Night Sisters were awesome. Undead Stormtroopers, that was freaking awesome to see that on live action. I've always wanted to see that. Just, man, it was just such a fantastic show. I loved it.
I really like Balin. I like Balin Skull. I think,
Balin was
man, awesome.
great, dude.
It's really too
Great.
bad that he passed away, because I really think they could have kept going with that character.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Super powerful. There was somebody that I was watching on Instagram that kind of explained the way he fought. Kind of like one of those medieval guys who's got the giant broadsword, and he was just so strong and everything else. I mean, I thought the
Balin was
choreograph was really
awesome.
good. I thought it was really good.
From the first couple of minutes when Balin was on screen, I was like, holy shit, this guy's a badass,
Yeah, yeah.
It's so unfortunate that he passed away and he didn't get to see, the fan reaction and how much people love his character. Like it's unfortunate.
It really is. It really is. Do you think there'll be a season 2?
I don't know if it's gonna be a season two or they're gonna make a movie out of it. My guess is it's probably gonna finish in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this behind stage. It's really hard to kind of know where they're going with this now. I know there was a
Right.
couple of movies on tap. There's not really a ton of shows on tap. Um, Disney era. We'll start with Disney era because we got to get that out of the way. what's
Oh,
been your
Disney.
f- What's been your favorite thing to come out of the Disney area or era?
So from the Disney era, like if we're talking TV shows, definitely Ahsoka. That's been my favorite so far. Movies, not talking about movies. Well, I guess Rogue One was part of the Disney era.
Rogue One was part. Yes, it was.
Yeah, so Rogue One is probably the best movie they've pushed out. So Solo was okay. Didn't get the love it should have got. But The Force Awakens was it was all right. Last Jedi, no, not at
No,
all.
no.
Rise of Skywalker was like, what the fuck did I just watch? But
It was trying to make up for that piece of crap we had before it is what it was,
yeah,
which didn't work out too well, unfortunately.
but I agree with Benjamin. Like Rogue One and Andor were good.
Right. Mhm.
Like I love Ahsoka. I love Andor. If I rank the Disney stuff, I guess it'll be Ahsoka, Andor, Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and then Book of Boba Fett, and then season 3 of Mando. Season
Yeah,
3 of Mando was
yes.
garbage, dude.
Season
I
3 of
fucking
Mando
hate
was
it.
so good. Well, that was so
Yeah,
disappointing too, because you're expecting it, after Book of
yeah.
Boba Fett, wasn't a huge fan. Really a letdown. I don't
Let
know what
down.
happened there. Yeah.
There's like
I
2 or 3 episodes I liked, and everything else is just awful. I'm just like, oh my god, this is garbage.
yeah, yeah. Here's a good comment. Imagine if the Empire used Terminators instead of undead stormtroopers.
People will
They'd
complain
win.
still.
They'd still complain.
Yeah.
Great episode, Phil and Evan. Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Brett.
And Colin says, agreed. He was the best character in the show. I definitely I agree with that, man. I really think Balin was the best. And like we said, it's too bad we're not going to get to see more of him. Hopefully they know what they're doing. It showed the sequel trilogy what happens when you don't have a plan of where it's going. Well, that was simple. They bought something, they didn't know what they were getting into, and they just kind of winged it. I mean, it was that simple. And you see what happens. when
That was
companies do
awful.
that. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Right, right. What if you could, say we hand you a notebook and a pen. We say, Evan, write us out a Star Wars movie or show. Where do you think you'd go with
Oh, I'll just pull a book off the shelf. I mean,
that?
I'll be like, let's like Fate of the Jedi. That's a good
Yeah.
book series that a lot of people are actually talking about it like this week because of the last season of Ahsoka. Dude, there's so much storytelling there. They can talk about all the Sith lords that we haven't brought to live action. We can talk about the mother. That nobody really knows about. We can tell those stories that have already been written.
Right.
There's all these stories that we would have loved to see put on the big screen. Bring Mary Jade to life.
Mhm.
Let's see Revan. Let's see Malgus. Let's see all these badasses that we've been reading about all these years. That's what I would do. I'm like, let's go to the library. Let's see what's in the EU or Legends and pull one of these out and let's make a movie out of it.
What was your reaction to knowing they're going to do a Ray movie?
Oh my god, dude! When I saw that, I was like, why, dude? Like WTF over? I'm like, why are we wasting time on this stuff? Like I
Why
thought
do you
that franchise was done.
Right. Why do you think they're pushing that so hard?
I
Do you
have
think it's
no
just
idea.
stubbornness? Do you think it's so odd that they continue to do things that no one's asking for,
I have
when it
no
comes
idea.
to movie wise. I don't see a lot of people clamoring. I think most people were very happy once that series was done, once that trilogy was done. So it's really a head
Right?
scratcher why they would bring something back that no one likes, or not no one,
Doesn't make
but a lot
sense.
of people don't like. So I just don't understand it.
It doesn't make sense at all. You should be listening to the feedback of your audience, right? If the audience does not like the stuff, then okay, what do they like? Let's focus on that. And I know Filoni did that because it worked for us.
Right.
He saw what we liked. He was like, hey, everybody wants to see Clone Wars. Everybody wants to see Rebels. So let's bring it to life.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, man, that was such a disappointment. I know a lot of us were upset when we heard that. I was hoping to hear something about Knights of the Old Republic. I was like, what about the Knights of the Old Republic? When are we going to
I
see
mean,
that?
it's kind of right there. Everybody's asking for it. That's what's so curious about it. It's like everybody's asking for one thing, but you give us like the ugly stepsister. It's like
Right, it's
why?
something.
Why? I
Yeah,
just
dude,
I just
it's
don't get it, man.
awful, man.
I would love for them to go away into the future. Total clean slate that way, and we can see what the legacy of the stories you had. I actually like that. I think if they just came up with something completely new, I don't know if they got the writers for that. They probably don't. But if they did, I think it'd be kind of cool to see, nothing Skywalker based, nothing, any of that based. Do you think that'd be make for a good series?
Something new. It worked for Mandalorian, right? So
Right. Right.
Mandalorian, the
Right.
first season, they started from scratch, right? We didn't know nothing. Everything was familiar. There's a
Mhm.
lot of familiar items, like Jawas and stuff. But the characters were all new. We didn't know these guys, and it worked.
Right.
They could do it. They have the bandwidth to do it. I don't know why they're finishing this, Ray saga. It's garbage. Don't get me
Yeah.
started.
Totally agree. Total garbage. I bet as they don't do a Ray movie, rumor Kathleen Kennedy is out at the end of the year and they will rework the slate. Boy, we can only hope.
So who would take over for Lucasfilm if she takes off?
Well, we need Filoni to take over. That's what we need. You know,
Right?
that would be nice. Somebody needs to take over. I don't know. I don't know who would, but do you think that she's the main force behind that? Or do you think I mean, a lot of times the people that we see are the problem are actually getting fed from way higher uppers to do their bidding and they're just kind of the spokesperson. So, we don't know for sure that it's all Kathleen Kennedy, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's all her. There's got to be a lot of people with their own, like their own vision, and they're pitching it to her, and she's like, okay, sounds good, go do it, and
Right,
then it's not
right.
good.
Exactly.
They blame her because she's the fall guy, right? She's
She's
the
the
head of
face.
Lucasfilm.
She's the face and she's the one
She's
that
the face.
yeah, exactly. They need to use the world between worlds to erase everything from the beginning of episode 7. Yeah, we see that.
That's funny.
Let's see. I got more enjoyment with Rogue One, especially the Battle of Scarif, and in my head, the final
Yes.
battle music, Terminator Resistance, is playing. Yeah, I totally agree. Rogue One, you would think that that was from before Disney purchased everything. It doesn't really fit in, so I'm not sure why we didn't get more of that, but it's all good.
Right.
I heard Kennedy's at it for a few years now. Interesting.
They've
Interesting.
been saying that for a long time. That's why.
Yeah, that's been a rumor for a while. You're right. Wow, you have a killer figure collection. Wow. Oh, thank you. He's talking to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I would put Favreau in charge. Let him produce and Filoni do the stories. I actually like that. I think Favreau has proved himself and done a good job. I would not have expected that when they told me John Favreau was doing. I was like, "What? You mean the guy from Elf?" I was like, "What does he know about Star
Oh,
Wars?"
Farrell's a nerd, man.
He
So
is.
he's
He
the one
is.
who kicked off the MCU. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that. He's
Really?
the one that kept pitching. He kept pitching like Marvel stuff, and they picked him up for Iron Man.
Oh
So he's
wow.
the one who did the first Iron Man and the second Iron Man, and pretty much kicked off the MCU. So if it
Interesting.
wasn't for Favreau, we wouldn't have got that MCU that we got,
Oh, I did not know that. That's awesome.
and that's how he got picked up for the Star Wars stuff because he was bugging the Star Wars folks.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, it's a good thing
Yeah.
he did because man, it's really been good. Road tripping, so I've been lurking. Rogue One is the best Disney movie. What's up, Archer? Good to have you here, buddy.
What's up?
Always good to have you here. Say not Archer, say not Archer. I want to either see a Republic Commando or Force Unleashed be made either into a movie or TV series in live action. I could see Republic Commando. Definitely. Definitely could see that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was hoping for some of the Force Unleashed characters in Ahsoka. That would have been freaking
That would have
badass.
been cool. Senate
Yeah.
guards with lightsabers. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, dude.
I would have been
Yeah,
down with that.
dude.
Shadow troopers. We haven't got shadow troopers, that
Republic
sort of thing.
Commando would be good too, man.
Republic
We
Commando would
can,
be good.
yeah,
Yep. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to
do it.
give me your three favorite YouTubers. Doesn't even
Three
have to
favorite
be, yeah,
YouTubers.
it can be from anything. It doesn't even have to be collecting or Star Wars or any of that. It can be from anything.
Man, three favorite YouTubers. Well, I'm gonna be biased and say my boy George.
Yeah.
Hyperdrive,
Yep.
Medina Lorian. He's one of them for sure. Let's see, Gabe, of course, Star Wars replicas. He's another one of my buddies. Let's see, who will be number three? Who do I sit there and watch all the time? I'm gonna have to say General Kenobi's bunker.
Oh, man. None of that. Those are three excellent choices. I would agree with all three of those.
Yeah, I sit
I
there
agree
and
with
watch Jose stuff all the time. Like I was washing dishes today, and I was like, "Oh, you did an interview with Zay Fletcher. Let me watch that while I'm washing dishes."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Kenobi's
he's been
got it
killing
down.
it.
Well, George has got it down too. I watched Medina Lorion a lot too, and he's definitely got it down too. He does a great
Oh
job.
yeah, he
Definitely.
does a great job with like his production. His production value is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I still I see a lot of these guys do that. And it's like, you know, what have you learned as far as that whole thing goes with production and filming and everything else? What have you learned since you began to now? Is because there's a
Oh
learning
my
curve.
god, I've learned a lot. I'm still learning. I learn every day. Equipment is key, right? Equipment is, you can get like cheap stuff and it'll work, and then you get high end stuff and it works, but you got to know how to use it.
Right.
But having the right equipment, having the right software, software is hard to learn too. Um, I've learned a lot, to like edit my own videos, jump cuts, doing like animations, you name it, dude. I had to learn all that on my own.
Right.
Nobody taught me how to do that stuff. So like a lot of the intros, well, the original intro that I made for my show, I did it, and then Scott put the music on top of it, and then all the outros, I make all the outros. I use oh my god, OBS to like
Nice.
copy the scenes that I want, and
Hmm.
then I trim them down. So like I make every outro that I made, and I try to make them like to what I think the scene should look like. So I've learned a lot of that stuff on my own, man. It's hard.
It is hard.
So
You
yeah.
you don't realize what you're expected to do when you start a
Oh
YouTube
yeah.
channel. It's like, what do I do? I just film. I don't need to do anything else. And boy, the learning curve is huge. It's a
Yeah,
huge
man.
learning curve, man.
And like when I do my videos, like if it's just a one shot where it's just me on the screen, I have a script, dude. I like have a note, and then I'd say, this is what I'm gonna say. This is the topic one, topic two, topic three, and in closing, like how am I close the episode out, or the show, whatever I'm doing, how I'm gonna
Right.
close it out.
Right.
So yeah, dude, I got to script it, so that's more work, and then then I got to find the music, which is more
Right.
work.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot
The
of stuff
whole
people don't know about.
Right, it's in the whole production, and guess what? You have to be the actor, you gotta be the talent, you gotta be the producer, the editor, the director, and it's like, I don't think a lot of
Right.
people realize what go into it. Obviously we all do because we do it, but, what when you started doing it, was it more than you anticipated? Was it ever
Oh
a point
yeah.
where, like, I have no idea, I need to you said you had some help from some guys. Was there ever a time where you're like, "I just can't, I need somebody else to do this," or something?
Never got to that point,
That's good,
like
that's good.
so George helped me with like my logos because he's awesome like that. He helped me with my logos, and then like for the show, I had created a different sound for the intro, and Scott's like, "Oh, I can make you a better one." I was like, "Go for it, dude."
Absolutely, anything to
So
improve.
and then yeah, he hooked it up, and it's freaking badass. The soundtrack he made for that,
That's great, man.
but yeah, like long time ago, I didn't care. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this video of this hot toy. I'm gonna unbox it, boom, send it out.
Right.
Nowadays, I don't. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, I'm gonna do an intro. I'm gonna do some kind of like, animation or whatever, something to introduce the episode, and I'm gonna make sure that the quality of the video explains what I'm doing
Right.
and it's informative too. Because before I wasn't doing anything informative. I'm like, oh, here's a toy. Here's a hot toy. It's cool. It poses. And then there it goes. I like it.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and that's another learning curve because it's like, you don't realize how detailed you need to be.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
you really need to be detailed on this stuff. And, there's times, I don't know if you feel like this, but there's times I feel like, I could just put a big pile of crap out there and it would get as many views as something I completely spend a lot of time on. I mean, do you ever feel like that where it's like,
Oh yeah.
you're throwing garbage out there and it gets more views than something you spend a lot of time on?
Oh my God. Tell me about it. Like one of my Instagram reels just hit 100,000, views. And I'm like, I didn't even try on that one. I just
Right,
posted some stupid thing on there that
right,
says,
right.
look at this. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. And then I was like 100,000 views for that crap. I didn't even edit it.
It's the stupidest thing ever, like
Yeah.
shorts, YouTube shorts. You've done them.
Yep.
I
Yep.
watched your one the other day when you did your happy place one where you showed your
Yeah.
collection. I'm like, dude, he probably spent like 2 seconds on that thing and
Get a
thousands of
bunch
views
of
later.
views.
Yep,
Yep.
yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The stupidest things get the views, and I'm just like, okay, but it doesn't. I don't let that bother me. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The being in the right frame of mind can be tough at times. I'm sure you've dealt with
Right.
that and stuff, but yeah, that can be definitely tough. We already talked about that one. All right, let's see. Which actor you guys want to play Galen Merrick if Sam Witwer can't reprise a role? My choice would be Sam Worthington because I sometimes imagine him as Galen Merrick in my head. He looks just like him.
Mm.
I totally agree with that. I could see that.
Oh man, what's this guy's name? Trevin. God, I can't remember his name, but the guy from Bird Box. Have you seen that on Apple
Mm,
TV?
mm.
Let me look up his name.
I mean,
He was
another
in.
guy that looks like Galen. Jeez.
He was in those. This the guy I'm thinking of was in those British TV shows about the gentlemen that were like spies. God, I can't remember the
Oh,
name of it.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Let me get this guy's name. But Bird Box
T3,
is
what?
a
Go ahead.
is that? Oh no, no, go ahead. Sorry.
T3, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here. Thanks for making it in, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else better. Sam Worthington pretty much hits it on the head. He's got the right look. He's got the right hair, the right demeanor. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, the guy's name is Taron Egerton.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's another good choice. Yep,
He'll be dope.
yep. He'd be good. I agree. All right, we got Viper's Pit. What's up, buddy? Good to have you here.
What's up, dude?
Sean Scruffing looking stone. The show
Oh
came a long
shit.
way since I was on with you guys.
What's up,
Nice.
Sean?
Good to have you here, man. Appreciate you. All right. So I think we've said hi to everybody else. Let's see. Collecting Havoc. Take it when you can get it. Yep, absolutely. All right. How would you feel if they did a Darth Maul origin story? I don't think anyone would be upset about that, Rex.
Hell yes. Let's do it.
And then you can
Let's
make all the
go.
props for it, Rex. Go for it, man.
There you go. We'll have them done by the end of your show right now.
Right. 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 Absolutely. If there was, okay, so don't say Maul, say somebody else. If there was one character where they could do an origin story, who would it be?
Who would it be? So he said no mall.
No Maul.
So Did someone already say Malgus?
No, no. Magus is a good one.
Yeah, we can do a Malgus. Malgus would be dope.
Absolutely. Magus, Malik, Bastilla
Malik.
Shan. Yep,
Yep. It's a
absolutely.
lot of
There's a ton of
them.
good ones.
Yep.
Yep. I would love to see a villain story on Disney Plus.
Me too.
Agreed. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would like to see it. All right.
No.
Let's get to some basic Star Wars questions. We always have to ask these. When I always do this. I did this with Kenobi. I did this with Tony. Favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh man, it always switches, but I love A New Hope. You know, the
Really?
original Star Wars. Oh
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
because it started everything, right? It started the whole fantasy. You know, this is Star Wars. You know, this is outer space. These are aliens. You know, it's Tatooine. These are the cantina. It's everything, dude. I love it.
Nice.
I love it. First time you
Nice.
see Vader, it's like,
Oh, well, I'm with you there. I mean, it's one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history to me.
hell
You
yeah.
just don't expect that, you know. You just
No, not at
he
all.
walks out and it's like, who the hell's this guy? And
And
then
I was a kid too when I
yeah,
saw it, like little, and I was scared as hell. I was like, "What the hell's this?" You know?
me too. I was terrified of Vader when I was a kid. It took me till I was about 5 years old to really be okay with it, and now it's like best villain ever. You know, I mean, I don't think there's a question on that. Here's a good origin story: Salacious Crumb.
Oh, Salacious Crumb. Is he in
All right,
here? Oh, the
no,
origin
no,
story.
that's who he wants the origin story to be on.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
Favorite Star Wars character?
Favorite Star Wars character, no doubt, is Darth Vader. Love Vader. That's my character right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you think it's made Vader even better since Hayden Christensen has now appeared in 2 series? Do you think it's really just elevated Vader to that new level? I think it has. I think it's
I
made
think
Vader
it's
even cooler than he ever was.
elevated Anakin more for me
Yeah,
because growing up with the original trilogy, didn't know much about Anakin, right? Just knew he
right.
was in Vader's body and he was Luke Skywalker's dad. Um, but now with the expansion, of the storytelling, the prequels telling us how Anakin became Vader, and with all the Disney shows, telling us, the direction and the path that he went to. I think I really appreciate Anakin's character a lot more now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, well, and Hayden Christensen, thankfully, he's gotten such a positive response. You know, that he wasn't the most well-liked guy back in the
No, not at
prequels.
all.
A lot of people gave him a lot of crap, saying he
Right.
was too whiny. And man, I'm really happy for him that he's gotten the reception that he's gotten because,
Oh, psh,
he's done a
he
great
was
job.
awesome. He was awesome in Ahsoka. That was
He
great.
was.
Everything they did with
That
him. Yep.
that scene with him and Ahsoka, and then the lightning with Vader in the background, that was
Yeah,
amazing. One of the greatest scenes in anything Star Wars, I say. I mean, it was fantastic.
absolutely.
Let's see. As long okay, so he's going back to the Disney show. As long as they don't make any more vile villains into good guys, I would agree with that.
They all end up as good
I
guys.
always end up as good guys, right? I would love to see a Vader story, which between episode 3 and episode 4. I could have
Yes.
sworn I heard something about that in the works where they were trying to get Hayden on board for that, and then go over, like him hunting down the rest of the Jedi and everything else.
Yes.
I, dude, if I was gonna pick something, I would be right there with you.
They got the whole Vader down storyline that Marvel did. That they can just easily do that and hunt down all the Jedi's and be fantastic, dude.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it'd be great, and bring Starkiller into it.
Yeah,
Everybody
you can
wants
do
to
that.
see Star Wars Killer live action. Bring Starkiller into it. It'd be great.
Yep.
And Colin says, "I want to see a Star Wars horror movie or series." I mean, you kind of got it a little bit with the zombie stormtroopers in Ahsoka. I think you could maybe go a little further with that if they decide to, but I'm not sure what else they could do with that. What do you think, Evan?
Star Wars horror. Yeah, I don't know how much they can do with that other than just have more zombies.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
just don't know.
it'd be tough.
Yep.
I will never get enough Vader. Give me more Hayden. I don't care. Give me more Vader. I want to see a scene with Anakin's Force Ghost interact. Absolutely. Totally
Oh,
agree with that.
that'll be badass.
Totally agree with that. I think that'd be great. And I think that's very easy to include somewhere. We know so much more about Vader since Rey is a Skywalker. There you go. Oh man, good
She's
stuff. Good stuff. Oh, come on, computer.
She
Okay,
got
so
married through the force with Kylo Ren, you know.
right. They should do a Vader movie that he did not turn to the dark side, and then at the end wakes up from a dream. Oh,
That'd
wow.
be funny.
That's getting intense, Rex. Nice, man.
Be a
Very
nightmare, and
cool.
he's still in Coruscant, sleeping in the Jedi chambers.
Right. Absolutely. All right, Evan. Well, thanks so much for being on, man. We're at the hour, so I'm gonna let you
Hell
go.
yeah.
But really appreciate you being on the show. All you guys in the chat, as always, appreciate you guys. There was a ton of you tonight. We got 30 people watching, which is huge numbers for me.
Nice.
So
Thanks, guys,
really
for coming
appreciate
over.
all you guys coming out. Absolutely. Evan, I'm gonna give you a chance. Go ahead and tell us what's on the horizon for you. Tell us times when you're doing live streams, videos, where we can find you, Instagram, all that stuff.
All right. So I guess we'll start with the easy one. Instagram, Eben the Collector. So I'm there. I try to post something 3 or 4 times a week. YouTube. So YouTube, I have Spice Runners Lounge. We do a live stream every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday nights, I'm on the hyperdrive on the Cantina chat. And then Sunday nights, there's a new show that's part of the Spice Runner family called Rogue 5 Cantina. So tonight, actually, if you're part of the Facebook group at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, the group's going to do like a meet and greet. So don't miss that. And then starting October 15th, they'll be doing Sunday night shows. So I'll be on the first episode for that one. I think I covered everything. If not, oh well.
Right. And my buddy Joe, he's on the Rogue Five. So congratulations,
Yes.
Joe. Look forward to seeing you that. That'll be right after Yukon, Yakin with Yukon next week. So guys, definitely go check that out. That'll be awesome. Evan, thanks again for being on, man. Really appreciate you taking the time out with us,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
guys. Absolutely. So this week, I did say that Darth Blaze was going to be on Tuesday. I'm probably going to have to move that out. I've got a conflict with that. But next week, next Sunday, we have our first panel show of Yakin with Yukon. It's going to be a GI Joe panel show. We're going to go over vintage, kind of that modern era, and then all the way to classified. Everybody that's going to be on that show is going to be myself, JJ, Gary's Grails, and Ed from Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. So I think that'll be fun. That's the first one we've done of this, and then we're going to probably do a Star Wars one sometime soon too. Not sure when that is. So
So,
definitely check that out. We'll be back next week. Thanks again, Evan. Thanks to you guys in the chat. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.
peace.